Hello, greetings, wonderful viewers, wherever you are. Welcome to Atlantic TV, the home of TV revolution. As always, we're located in the little smiling coast of West Africa, the Gambia we love so much. And in fact, when I say the smiling coast, I feel so happy. And then especially now we have wonderful tourists floating inside the West Coast and the smiling coast to see the beach, the sun, etc. So welcome all the tourists wherever you come. Gambia is the smiling coast. Come wherever you are. Meanwhile, a shout out to the Gambia Tourism Board with my friend Abu Bakar. Thanks for the accolades and thanks for whatever you're doing out there to make sure that we have a tourism destination and a heaven right here in the Gambia. Well, once again, it's exclusive interview. My name is Bakary Manneh, of course, the host of this program commonly called Big Sam. And my co-host today is
Omar Tal of Atlantic TV. This is my first time, of appearing before the exclusive, and I am thrilled to be here.
And then today, Omar, you're the co-host.
No,
is this part of the Kiam community?
No, it's a Kiam bromance. The first time as a Kiam bromance on Atlantic TV.
So the people from Sotoko and all over, don't get jealous. This is Kiam to the power. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, once again, and of course, here we're hosting on this program today. The guest is no other than Modou Lamin Al-Musab. So, well, he's not a guest in this studio and platform. He was here for an exclusive interview about he as an author, etc. And then he's accompanied here by, of course, Jamilatou Jallo. Jami is right here to talk about Red Gambia competition that is coming up. Well, yesterday, a presser was called at the motherland in Senegambia, where a lot of things have been discussed. Well, remember, this competition is the first of its kind that we are witnessing in the Gambia, that is the Smiling Coast. Because we are used to see competitions like spelling bee competitions, quiz, whatever, etc. But this is the first time we have a reading competition. Well, how it's going to be unfold, Modou Lamin and Jamilatou will be once again take us through. But before then, traditionally, Modou and Jamilatou, here is fans and viewers. You can say hi to them before we start.
Hi viewers, this is Modou Lamin Age Al-Musafso. I am excited to be invited once again on Atlantic TV for another discussion. Yeah, thank you.
And Jamilatou?
Thank you for Thank you for welcoming us here. I'm Miss Jamilatou Jallo, the Administrative Secretary, Gambia Foundation. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, guys, and thank you. Meanwhile, traditionally, as always, maybe, Jami, you have to, people watching, or your fans, or your family, or your workmate, you can say hi to them before we go.
I'm saying hi to my lovely mother, my siblings, and my brother, and then my boss here, sitting here, and everyone who is my friend, my family members, every other person. United Zone Food, I don't forget about you guys.
Oh yeah. There, yes, Modou, you also have the same opportunity.
Yeah, just thanking everybody, and I'm excited to do this once again, and I am glad that God has given us the good health and the opportunity to witness it. Yeah, everybody, just to say thank you once again. Just follow Atlantic TV, like, subscribe, and then let's do this together.
Thank you so much. Yes, my co-host today, Omar. Maybe also, you have.
Yeah, I have little to say. Before getting into the program, I thank all the viewers of Atlantic TV for yet another edition of exclusive. Our hosts today are one gentleman and a lady. Yesterday we did a press conference at the Senegambia where deliberations were made on the reading skill, how to better the reading skill of Gambian public, so that they could compete in outside world. And this is what we are about to discuss. And to my friends, family members, and every other guy working us live, well, let me just say exclusive, not yet live, on Atlantic TV, we say thank you.
Thank you
for being with us.
And Omar, we thank you for broadcasting that press live. We got a lot of views out there, and that was awesome.
No, it was indeed a great press conference. Lots were discussed. Deliberations were intact.
And people were following, right?
People were following. Comments were made. I think it was very detailed. Press conference. And their objective was to send the message clearly to the Gambian people, which was the primary content of the press conference, and it was achieved. So we thank them today for also coming here on our studio, for giving us another analysis, another updates about the future event that supposed to take place later on.
Thank you, Omar. Yes, I'll start with Al Musaf, the CEO, the press conference. Although we carried, but then this is from the horse's mouth. That was a traditional reading and questioning. But what was all about the presser yesterday?
Thank you very much, Honorable, for this very wonderful question. The press conference yesterday was aimed at briefing the general populace, the public in particular, about our event so that they will get to know the level of preparation involved, who are our partners, what are the schools participating, and so far what we've done. Like we said, this is the first of its kind in the Gambia that we are preparing candidates to represent us at the Guinness World Record. So it's important that we involve the general public in what we are doing because it's a national event. And when we say something is national, it shouldn't just stop at a particular region or space. So that's why the spectrum is so big, so huge, so much so that we have got to appear on the media, such as the press conference that was held yesterday, so that the media can help us to at least disseminate the information to the provincial Gambia, from Katong to Koina, that people watching us or joining us can also learn about it, because we intend to go across the length and breadth of this country. And the first edition, we're just doing it within a specific region, targeting from West Coast KM to Banjul. But next year, inshallah, we will go beyond that. And in the meantime, this was the ultimate aim of the press conference, just to brief the people so that they will know what we are up to.
Yes, brilliant. Jamilatou, yes, you're part of the press conference. You were there as the administrative secretary, and everything went accordingly. Your part also. What do you have for our listeners regarding the press conference? And the date, I think, don't let them know about it too.
Okay, first of all, the date is on the 1st of December 2025, and then the venue is Model and Senegambia. We have wrote to so many schools, as he stated, in the West Coast here, though it doesn't happen in the rural, but we are planning, inshallah, next year to do it there also, because it's gonna be nationwide. So that's why we even introduce tickets. That is, the advanced standard ticket is $500, advanced VIP is $1,000. There is no gate ticket on the day of the event because of the high dignitaries coming. We don't want the place to be that much busy. So come and buy tickets, support the event so that we can make this nationwide annually. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that will be much. Omar will come later, but I think that was Omar's argument yesterday, and some of them that is supposed to go down. But like I said, funds have to have, and then sponsors have to come, because this is first time it is coming up. Modou, how is the preparation towards December 4th? As you know, this is a kind of a pilot project. We want to say, oh, it's the first time. How is the preparation on the ground between you and your team?
Thank you very much. The preparation is going smoothly, despite the fact that there has been so much incantations or encumbrance involved in this whole process. You know, good things don't easily come like that. And some of the challenges that we face with is convincing the schools, the school authorities, you know, to convince them to take part is something very huge. It's so massive that the first of its kind is happening. They don't understand the nature of the event. So this is going to help me to clarify that, so that the viewers will have a better picture, a vivid picture.
I definitely want that.
The whole readathon.
Exactly.
And when we say readathon, we are referring to a reading competition from the word read. But what are we actually doing? What we are talking about, the Guinness World Records reading marathon. What is it all about? When we say Guinness reading marathon, we are referring to an attempt to set a record by a group or an individual. That record can be set by institutions, by individuals. Such events, reading events, can be organized by anybody. But at country level, it's important for a foundation like the Read Gambia Foundation to come up with the activities, prepare and identify a candidate that will represent us at international stage, on the international stage. So when we say a readathon, we are referring to a competition among individuals or schools. So the readathon involves 32 competing schools that are coming to compete live on the stage on a reading event. And they will be reading books written by Gambians or Africans. because this is so because we have got to read ourselves before we read others. If you want people to read, you should identify what they should read. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't just say we worship him. He says we know him before we worship him.
Yeah.
So that is why he said, Ikra bismi rabbikal ladzi khalaq. You read in the name of your Lord first, who created you before you even start saying Allahu Akbar, praying. So, because before you pray, you must know who you are praying to. Yeah. So when we are telling people to read, we need to tell them what to read. Therefore, that's why we have decided as requirements for the competition to identify Gambian and African books.
Okay.
This is because we have got to do away with the dominance of foreign books in schools. You know, they are very good and they are helping us, but we don't really want to see them dominating the school curriculum. You know, I'll come to that very quickly. Okay. So that's one of the reasons. And part of the requirement includes that the candidates or the applicants or participants from various schools must be between the ages of 16 to 30. So any applicant who is beyond that age is automatically disqualified from our criteria.
So 16 to 30?
Yeah, 16 to 30 years.
Okay.
That's the age bracket.
Okay.
Yeah, so beyond that, obviously, we have to look into that critically to say you are disqualified from the competition. And then we didn't forget the madrasa, even the disabled. You know, the Arabic section in this country, they have no representation at the National Assembly. I mean, they have no representation in anything. Like Arabic section in this country is more of religious, as people term them. But when it comes to education, nobody even dares to say anything about them. But for us, we're different. We have sent invitation to everybody. We invited everyone to be part of this thing, because when we say read, we are referring to the whole nation. We have a problem of reading in this country. Very quickly, I will give you the statistics if my brain is assimilating the truth tentatively. Okay. According to the UNESCO report, we have exactly 58.67% of the adult literacy rate in the Gambia.
Wow.
Out of a population of 2.8 million people, 58.67% are literate. When we say literate, meaning they can read and write. Adult literacy. Okay. Now, out of that percentage, we have exactly 65% who are male and 52% are female. Okay. So it means that the male ratio who are literate is higher than the female ratio. It shows a very huge gap between the two sexes, male and female. Okay. But what can be done for us to advocate for readership, for literacy, and encourage reading of Gambian and African books, also to support the ministry? Because the Read Gambia Foundation, we have 3 pilot projects. Okay. The first one is the readathon. Okay,
and that's what we
with the campaign. We have a hashtag Read Gambia.
Read Gambia, okay.
Yeah, Read Gambia. Let's read.
Let's read. Okay.
All right. So that's the first pilot project. The second one is the Gambia Arts and Culture TV. Okay. That's our second pilot project. And the third one is the Kunta Kinte Library and Museum. So it's a massive project.
It's like the 3 in 1, yeah.
The foundation has a big project, multi-million-dollar project for Gambian citizens. You know, we could have been a little bit too gender biased by wearing our gender lenses to be quite sensitive to say Modou Lamin Sow Foundation or Modou Lamin H. Al-Musab Sow Foundation. But I'm not a solipsist and I don't believe in cynicism or solipsism. That is to be too panjandrum, to be too rumbustious. You know, to be too proud of oneself. That's not me. You know?
You are too much.
That's not me. You know, I don't believe having foundations in my name.
Exactly.
Yeah, I won the African Literature Award. I should have sat in America or England and sit down and watch Gambia Born in Flames.
Exactly.
But that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing, I'm not part of those little critics and then young people without vision and knowledge who will just go on social media, say anything about government. When I see something is not working for the country, I talk about it.
Yeah, sure. I saw in
newspapers.
I saw some of your writings.
But you don't see me criticizing anybody. I organize events, give microphones to people in charge of that for them to come and speak, and I watch them. So if they have knowledge, they will understand that what I'm doing is their responsibility.
To do that.
So that's the kind of individual I am. But I don't believe in criticism. You understand? So it's fundamental. We build a nation together. Yeah. A nation is not built by individuals, just one person. No. People have to come together. Rome was not built overnight.
No, I think criticism, in fact, is okay, but let it be constructive. Exactly. And let it be kind of how can I put this?
Exactly.
Let me try to put you to, oh no, this is not right, but this is what you're supposed to do. So basically, we'll delve on that. But Omar, I'll give you a chance here. There is Jamilatou, and maybe you have one of the. You were at the press.
I just want to make a follow up. One Alf Muse have just said, like, reading is a key component. It's one of the key components of a quality education. And in this event that you guys are about to organize, if you can tell our viewers what specific books do you guys want to focus more on during the competition? Is it book on curriculums, the Gambian curriculums, the one teacher read at schools, or the one authored by Gambian authors or Africans? Which specific do you want to focus on during the competition? Because it is important to put that one to the public so that people will know.
And the kind of book that they're going to read. Yeah, I think if I can understand, foreign in the here means West, because yes, that's what you mean. That's what I'm asking, because you said Gambian and
African.
African. Okay. Not
African
the Western
books,
part.
Okay.
I think Jamilatou, yeah, that is going to be read.
Okay. Thank you, Umar. Secularly speaking, I think it's good to pick up from that and then elaborate more on it so that our viewers and then participating schools
because
can
we're
understand.
Talking to them so that they can
so
understand.
When we say it has to be Gambian or African books, we are referring to books in the curriculum, school curriculum. Okay. It can be even textbooks, pamphlets that people are reading. We want to encourage reading, because we are doing this selection process. Out of 32 schools, we are only interested in 5 schools. Now, when we get the 5 schools from the selection process, that is when we will decide to give them books to read ourselves. But in the meantime, at school level, we decide that let them identify their own books they want to read. But it has to be Gambian or African books. So when we say Gambian, it can be books in the school curriculum. It can be books written by Gambian authors or writers. African, the same thing. It can be African novels such as Things Fall Apart. It can be any form of book, whether it's a curriculum material, reading material, it's a novel, fiction, non-fiction, poetry, drama book. Let it just be written by a Gambian or an African. It is not
specific to any book, any curriculum book or any African book. It is open.
It is open, but it is specific to a particular spectrum I have mentioned. Okay. I've mentioned that curriculum books are books in schools that people are reading. So that is specific to curriculum. Okay. But when we say African, we are referring to African novels. It has to be books that are read generally by people, and it is read in schools. Yes.
Okay. I think that
that part is clear.
Yeah.
Another question is like for Jamilatou, the event is on December 1st.
Yeah.
Sure.
And preparation, I think, have already started. So how collaboration are you guys with the schools, in order to prepare the student for this mega event?
Okay, thank you for your wonderful question. Right now, we just write letters and then send them to the schools. Though we having, I can say, one challenge for now, because some of the schools, they will tell us that they don't have any participant, and they will only request for one person, one official candidate to come and represent. But as we know, and then we stated earlier, reading is our problem in the country, so many of them will fold their hands. But we are still trying, and then still convincing people to come, because this is the first edition. As time goes, so when the first edition passes, the second one, people will start to be interested more about it.
Okay. It's like in a case where a particular school find it more difficult to have a representative for this event. Is there any form of substitution or any form of replacement to shift from that particular school to give chance to others, or are you going to limit yourself to that particular schools to work in conjunction with them so that they can do everything possible, to have a representative for the school? Is there any alternative for this? In case a school cannot produce a candidate or a competitor for this event?
Okay. Previously, the ones who said that they cannot participate, we already convinced them to come. So they say that they will select participants. But in a case that they didn't select any participant also, we have 32 schools, as we stated earlier. So those ones will be anyone we have among them. Even we have 20, it's okay. Yeah, because this is the first time, and the first time is always not easy.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
All right, Omar, thank you. I think you're right. What you have is what you
base your
it's what you're going to have, because I think you've written to many. So if first time is a learning process, or anybody that come, I think we can. Thank you, Omar. Moving on, I want to ask more, in which format is this reading competition is going to be? Because when we talk about format, okay, are they given a particular time on stage to read a particular, or are they given a particular, let's say, paragraph or whatever to read for a time, because maybe there's a time or whatever? Give us that format on that day on the stage, how it's going to be. Okay.
Thank you very much once again. The format that's been used here, we have a panel of judges. They have actually come up with their judging seat, and we have a requirement set aside by the panel of judges, distinguished panel of judges, who are experts in the field of education. Each of them has over like 30 years teaching experience. So those are not ordinary people in the teaching industry. They've served in all the regions in the country, maybe as teachers or principal, whatever. So they came up with a criteria. In the criteria, the first thing they will be looking at is the clarity, the ability to read. They will look at your clarity. They will look at your appearance on the stage, because if you're a student, we emphasize clearly in our criteria that you must be in school uniform. If you're representing a school, for instance, not a tertiary institution, or not training vocational training institutions that do not wear uniform. And even that, we have a clause, a particular sentence is also highlighted there to show that if they are not in school uniform, they must be present with their student identity, to identify themselves with the institution that they are representing. All those things have been clearly stipulated in our criteria. That is just one. Each of these participants will be allocated 10 minutes to read live on the stage.
10 minutes?
10 minutes each, a maximum of 10 minutes. Okay. So when they are on the stage, they will be evaluated based on their ability to read. Reading is very, very difficult. It's important that we discuss this, because sometimes you see people go up to university and they cannot read.
Okay, but I want us to understand the format for, don't worry about it. 10 minutes is given. Do you have a special paragraph given to you, or you go to the judge and say, this is why I'm going to read, and then you have to read that within 10 minutes? The speed is there, or the clarity? That's what I want, the format I want our viewers to know.
Yeah, that's important. I'm coming to that as I am elaborating more. Okay, go So ahead. The format, if a candidate comes with Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, for example, from chapter 1, you're reading from page 1, maybe page 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Based on the time, because we have a timekeeper. There are adjudicators are there. We have all our panel of judges present. The timekeeper is also timing you. So reading aloud is the format. You're reading aloud. And then they are timing you. If you read beyond the time, you have lapses when they are judging you. If you read within the time, but your reading is not the clarity, the pronunciation, you have certain challenges, the judges will also evaluate that. Yeah, but to say that if they are reading, the format is simple. They open the book from the first page, they feel free to read from the first page, from the middle, from the last pages. It's open to them. They can read any paragraph, they can read any sentence, they can read any chapter. But it has to be within 10 minutes.
Fantastic.
I think that's
very clear. This was what I was like watching for the first time.
I know
it's happening in the Gambia. We saw spelling bees. And
it has to be very simple, because we're doing it for the first time. Yeah.
So, but is there any challenges around too, or how do you intend to do that? Because something first, Gambia is seeing this at the first, and I think the lens of the lens of the camera, the microphones will be there for the first time to say this.
Yeah.
What can you tell me?
Yeah, that is why we have simplified it so much, so that we have not chosen specific books to say read, but we identify and say that let the schools themselves, the participants themselves, come up with their choice of books, with their favorite books. That's because we wanted to make it simple as possible. It's for the first time. But come next year and the year after that, we are going to identify specific books that we will give them, and they will all be evaluated on the same book.
Exactly.
Yeah, your first time of doing something.
Exactly. No, I know this time you were very, they're very flexible. I can understand that. You can take a book from anywhere, but let it be Gambian and Africa, and then you can read it throughout the night. And then you have that. That is very flexible. But like I said, when we go deep inside the competition, they will have a special to give
for
you.
The first edition, the rules are very soft. For
Exactly.
Very soft.
We can understand that. Jamie, you want to add up something on that? Anything regarding the read?
what is the next plan? You can say what is the next
Yeah,
plan?
I just wanna, as he stated earlier, that the reading, if you come to the ratio, the males are dominating.
Yeah.
So I always emphasize about the girls, because when you come to the aggregate in the schools, we see girls performing the boys.
Very well.
So, when it comes to this reading, we are below. So I want to see more girls.
More girls reading, huh?
So you guys have to come and then make me.
So let me come into the. You've talked about the gender issue here. You know, most of the time males are they dominate most of the fields in any competition. So is there any specific number or specific target for men or for female in this competition? The amount of boys or the amount of girls you are targeting, or it's just open based on the schools, based on their selection?
Yeah, it's open.
It's open. She's just
You
encouraging that let more female read like the boys are reading.
Okay.
But we are not running out of time. But before the Modou, this is special for you and them. What is the most important message that you guys are sending out regarding this, if I may ask you? And I want you to talk to them. The most important message you have for them. Talk to them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The most important message that we are sending as a foundation to everyone watching us, each and every Gambian citizen living in the country and beyond, even if you are not around, but you are a Gambian citizen, is to understand that a nation is built by collective work. You know, if all of us fold our hands and sit down and blame the government and blame society for what is not happening or what is not going right, we will not go anywhere. What we are doing, anybody can do it. We are very good at looking at what is not happening in the country. What has never happened, we try to create it. So we want you to do the same thing. It's better than identifying as a Mandinka, Jola, Fula, or becoming too tribalist. It's better than going to social media, writing and criticizing people unjustly. It's better than all what we are going through as a nation, you know. If you think something is not working right, do it yourself. Yeah, in that way, it will be right. If we can all be like that as Gambian citizens, in no time we will be more than Singapore and Rwanda, because these were nations that were adversely hit by poverty and affected by certain things such as tribal wars. But today, they are one of the fastest growing countries in the sub-region and the world at large. So it's important that we all come together, all hands to be on deck to make sure that the problem of leadership in the Gambia, we solve it. Because at the foundation level, we are now solving a national problem. At school level, teachers themselves have their own challenges at school level. If you go to MOPSI, they have problems that they are not even telling you. They have their own problems at MOPSI level. So they cannot do it alone. And then very quickly, one message I really want to pass is that the Gambia's education policy is aligned with SDG Goal 4 on quality and relevant education, the Sustainable Development Goal 4. Our education policy is from 2023 to 2030. After 2030, all the Millennium Development Goals, you know, the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals will expire. What will happen beyond that is something that nations need to work on, especially the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, to make sure that our education policy is revised, and then they align it with our cultural and language settings to make sure that countries such as Senegal, Tanzania, Kenya, that are inculcating Wolof and Kiswahili in their school curriculum is something we can embrace. You know, I'm happy anytime I go to Kenya, Tanzania, and other countries, and I see them speaking their own language in schools, learning that, defending their thesis, PhD in Mandinka, for example, in Swahili, in Wolof. You know, University of the Gambia should start introducing courses in Mandinka, you know, Wolof and Fula, up to bachelor's degree, because this is what will take us to where we are yearning for. The 21st century is a century of ideas. Technology, yes, it's the century of technology, but technology with ideas. That is why even the name of technology has to change to information technology and innovation. Why did they change the name of all the ministries to add the word and innovation? Innovation means creativity, to be able to think, to put something on the table. So if you are a doctor or a professor, a scholar, an intellectual, what can you bring on the table? They don't care whether you are from Harvard or Oxford, what degree you have. Employers are looking for people with ideas, with sharp minds, people who can create something in the world, and it will benefit society like we are doing in our foundation. Those are the people they are looking for to employ. But you can have double PhD, but you are not innovative. Unfortunately, The problem with the Gambia is that we have so many educated people without education. Half of the Gambia's problem are caused by people we call doctors and professors. Even a pencil, they have not brought to this country. Even a razor blade factory, they do not have.
Okay, let me just...
Omar, we are going out of time. Finally, no, because Omar, before you go, I just want Jamie. What's the final? What do you want to? No, Omar, you're coming. You do because I have only 5 minutes to wrap up. Jamie, any final word you have for the listeners? Because I know Omar wants to engage this guy for question. What do you have finally?
Okay, what I want to send to the viewers is that this organization, this foundation rather, is not about Lamin or any other part. This is about Gambia. So I think, and then it's advocating for education, literature, and cultural development. So I think we need to support this foundation, and then so that it can be successful, so that this one can last. Even if we are not here, it can last for our grandchildren's coming. And then so that also the flag can be higher. When we go, we represent the country. We can come with trophy in the country for the first time, at least in the Gambia.
Thank you. Omar, you wanna engage?
No, I just want to engage him on a part where he said, you know,
quick one because I the time.
That the phrase you brought in couple of, you know, it is an issue that, you know, Gambians are facing. You know, most of the time, those we see as an educated guy. You know, what do you think are some of the reasons, you know, that triggers this, you know, where our educated people we call as intellectuals, you know, they are failures on this side. They cannot bring any meaningful development into the country in terms of their education and other stuff. What are some of the contributing factors to this?
2 things.
And you end that with the final word because my time is gone already.
2 things, my honorable brother, and that's a very good question, Umar. Yeah, I commend you for that. 2 things. The first thing is greed. We have so many educated people who are not contented. They are so greedy to rally and run behind presidents, so much so that they don't believe in their education and themselves. With your bachelor's degree, for example, doctorate degree or whatever, you can do something. You can create a foundation. You can own a shop or something and survive without relying on presidents, without calling yourself any name, you know. Things like that, rallying behind somebody.
In countries like America, with a diploma, collect diploma, you can have a job and you enjoy yourself.
Exactly. That is the first thing I said, greed.
Greed.
2 is politics. It doesn't mean any educated Gambian have to go into politics. As far as you are a Gambian and you are educated, you must go into politics. No. I don't have a voter's card. I have never voted for anybody in this country, but I've been doing a lot. You understand? So it doesn't mean that if you are educated, you have to become a politician. And I noticed that everybody wants to be president in this country. You know, if you want to be president, work for the country. Let people see what you can do. Develop your own country. Develop your own surrounding, your community, your village. Until people see that you have done something. And when you stand in an election, whether it's National Assembly election, any kind of election, they know what you have done. And they know who they will vote for.
But we are running
Omar, we are running out of time. We cannot continue for another day. Omar, please, our time is done. We don't want to. Our guys are always signaling us, you know. Finally, from you, Modou, what's your final word regarding the book launch? We're going,
Yeah, we will, after this event, we are going to submit our report to the National Assembly Select Committee and the Minister of Education, UNESCO, and other stakeholders that are within the education industry or spectrum to recommend that the Gambia have a book policy. We do not have a book policy, and I think as a country, it's good we have the NCSE Act. It's good to have an education policy. It's good to have the Copyright Act and all those things. But the book policy will complement us in our efforts to fight against illiteracy in the country, to make sure that the percentage, the ratio which is low, is higher. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then let them know on the 1st December out there at Motherland. And the time, remember, is
3 p.m. onwards.
3 p.m. onwards.
Yes.
Finally, Omar, my co-host, before we go.
Well, I am thrilled once again, you know, for welcoming these guys here. All what they have said were just to the point. On their mission so far, I believe it will be achieved. 10 years from now, we'll have Gambians who can compete outside world with educated guys, people with, you know, high level of literacy, and they can bring the trophy home which we can use as a champion.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We finally come to a very interesting debate here. If I leave Omar and so we will never go from this room. But we're going to save that for another day. Don't worry, they'll be back here for another time.
He has stumbled in one of his civic.
We will definitely do that. Huh? So that is big thanks once again was the exclusive interview here on Atlantic TV, the home of TV Revolution. Of course, I'm the host, Bakary Manneh. Big Sam, the co-host was Omar Tal. And big thanks to CEO Modou Al-Musab and Jamilatou. Big thanks to my assistant cameraman, Biwa Manta Control Room. Thank you very much. I mean that Cesar Garinjar me Tombal Galas. Thanks to Kumbisla class. Ali Badra Sajano. Big once again to my favorite cameraman and the man behind the wheel today, Edward Nuha Baji. Salute Ema. Thank you so much. Bye.